There we go. There we go. We are live. I'm gonna bump this up. There we go. Me smaller, your words bigger. That's the way I like it. As Ben would say. Good old Mr. Ben. So, how are we doing? How are we doing this morning where I am? It is still morning. So yay for that. My little pile of stuff to do today. Not too big, not too small, just right. I'm loving it. Looking at what I have to do today. Email. Going to add some things to my list. Because your kiss is on my list. Right? So very cool. So good morning. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. All right. Penny Myers, hello. Yay for the people in the comments. Hopefully you can see and hear me. If you can't, let me know. Good morning to you as well. So I'm here, Lady Bandit. Nice to see you. I'm here, as many of you may know, but in case you don't, I'm here for the next hour or so, 59 minutes. Remember the days before digital clocks? Yay. Stacy Babbage, not only am I here for you, I'm here for everybody. So there's plenty to go around, let me tell you. Because what I help you with is going to help somebody else. And what I help somebody else with is going to help you too. Just look for those opportunities and then we'll be all set. Here for 59 minutes or so. Tomorrow there are no TikToks or YouTubes. And the next day are no TikToks or YouTubes. Because I'm going traveling for a short jaunt to New York City. However, when we come back, Thursday may be the day that I hit the official 1,000 videos uploaded to my YouTube channel. And I think that's kind of a fun number. It's a big number. It's kind of round. It's like a thing. But you know what's going to happen the very next time I put a video up? It's going to be 1001. Now that's cool. It's more, but it's not, so you have a milestone. You hit a milestone and then you move on from that. You enjoy it. You're like, look, I made it. Kind of like when you are driving to a destination. I made it. I'm halfway to there. Or maybe I'm there. I always wanted to do the 1,000. A palindrome. I totally missed the palindrome. I. So I'm going to feel good about that. But I'm not going to be like, hey, putting all my eggs in that one basket, as Fred Astaire would say. I'm going to be psyched about the fact that I have felt good. The only reason, you guys, that I have been able to show up and do 1,000 videos in the past, 4 years? That's almost a video a day. I don't know. We do the math, something. It's because it feels good. It's fun. It's enjoyable. There's connection. There's good vibes here. If this were boring, if this was an obligation, if I had to do it, I would not want to do it. Yay, Lady Bandit. And I'm jealous that you can clean out flower beds. We just got more snow last night. But I love this. Lady Bandit is setting a small goal, a small destination, if you will. Small, chunking it down. Notice that this road right here is not paved with, it is paved with good intentions, but we get the good intentions. We do what we intended. We do the good stuff that we intended to do. And yes, so that road to Destination Decluttered is not only paved with good intentions, but there is going to be the occasional pothole, but we chunk things down. I've been setting a small goal, a chunk destination for every weekend. This weekend, I cleaned out the front flower bed and it looks so much better. Oh, it was 70 degrees yesterday. Actually, it was fairly, I say balmy here. Yesterday it was about 30s or 40s and that felt warm compared to what we've had. Lady Bandit, since I've got you right now, it looks so much better. Beep, 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 like the bionic man or the bionic woman, whichever one who had the bionic eye. How do you feel looking at that good looking flower bed? When that message comes back, your eye goes out, it lands on the thing and it sends back information that causes you to feel a certain way. How are you feeling Even right now, you don't have to run out and look at that, even just thinking about it. Ooh, and look at the word she came back with. Fantastic, and not the spray cleaner. I feel fantastic. Notice the association, people. Let's make it obvious. I feel fantastic when I look at that decluttered flower bed that I made happen. Yay, Lady Bandit. Good. Yay. Yes. Carla Jane, thank you for chiming in. Carla Jane says, good morning to us all. To y'all, actually. I'm driving, so I can't chime in, but I'm so glad to see you all today. So, yes. So, Carla Jane, please do not get in a car accident. I will get in trouble. Right? There we go. And Lady Bandit is enjoying her places too. I cleaned the back patio last weekend. Last weekend, her small goal, her chunky chunk, her chunky destination, maybe my destination is to become chunky, who knows, was to clean the back patio. So she did it last weekend, and she's reaping the benefits of the work that she sowed, as if we were all farmers here. And today I will drink coffee on the patio. Now, I will say to you, I'm not a coffee drinker, as you know, but I cannot wait. And it won't happen for months yet for it to be warm enough for us to feel confident putting out even a chair or two on the patio before it gets cold again. That may not happen until May, April, ideal, but probably May here. So yay for you. But you know what's fun, you guys, is looking ahead and looking forward. Notice the difference between those, that the slight but powerful difference between how we use both of those sentences. I'm looking ahead to something versus I'm looking forward to something. To me, the forward is a little bit more fun, a little bit more lean in, a little bit more excitement. So how can we have the things that you're looking ahead that are going to happen be things you actually look forward to? I look forward to a lot of things. I do. And that looking forward puts a certain pep in my step during the day, even though the things I'm looking forward to may not happen for years yet. Okay. Yes. So notice the contrast. Judy Dukes, this is great. I can't wait for warm weather in Ohio. It's 50 today, she says, and that feels good after the below zero temps. So notice that even if you're not there to the official warm weather in Ohio, even being at the 50s can feel awesome when you have come from the sub-zeros. So notice that comparison. You may not be there yet, but you can feel good about where you are now. Now, that being said, I'm encouraged. So funny, I've been looking at the weather for Palm Springs. I am encouraged by the fact that it is slightly brighter out now than it was when I woke up. That means the sun is out. Now, we only have a high right now of 38 degrees, but man, that feels better than, negative 14. There we go. Patty M. I love it. Judy Dukes did this yesterday too. Did my exercise between TikTok and YouTube and putting it on my habit tracker. Yay. Yay. Good stuff. Judy Dukes was on her little bouncy thing, the little rebounder. I guess that's a more official word than the little bouncy thing. She did that during our TikTok live. She got to put it on her habit tracker. Yay. Whoops. Danielle, I'll be interested in what you said because I was just reading it as it was retracted. Interesting. Yeah. So today is Monday. It is halfway through, more than halfway through February. What do you look ahead? Oh, this was an interesting thing. Let me share this one with you because this came up yesterday on the one declutter party we had yesterday, of which, as a reminder, 3 declutter parties I've scheduled for this weekend, excuse me. The difference between this, I started yesterday's declutter party with a phrase that as soon as it came out of my mouth, I did not like it. So I couldn't retract it. Danielle, Okay, I couldn't retract it. I'll finish my thought and then I'll get to what Danielle said. And I think she and I know why she retracted it and said it better. So I retracted what I said yesterday and I replaced it with something better. So here's this. This is what I thought felt better. So let me see if how this feels for you. I said to each one of the people who were attending the party, I initially started by saying, yes, Danielle, that's what I figured it was. I thought it was kind of hysterical. It's all good. I started yesterday by asking everybody, what do you want to work on during this party? And then I realized I didn't like that word. What are you going to work on? Like this is going to be work. Like there are associations with the verb work. And some of them are not all good. So I stopped and I said, wait, I don't like how that feels. I don't like how that sounds. So this is what I changed it to. What would you like to focus on? What would you like to focus on during these chunks of the declutter party? So notice the difference between work and focus. But focus is something that we all would benefit in strengthening our focus muscles. Having it be the word focus also allowed people to write down what they were focusing on. So then their eyes could literally look and focus on what they wrote down to focus on to help their entire body and mind and actions focus on what they want to do. It worked out really well. So I ask you, what would you like to focus on even in this chunk of time that you and I are together here? We have what? More than 45 minutes together. It's 11:11 for people who like to look at four vertical lines on a digital clock. And I love this. Danielle used some external motivations. I had somebody come out and measure my closet today to see how much flooring I will need. That forced me, but it could be a good force, to get the closet a little bit more organized in my bathroom. Yeah. So sometimes a little bit of external pressure. That was somebody, I was talking to somebody this weekend who said, you seem like somebody who would give people just some gentle encouragement. You don't need a shove. You don't need a push, but it's kind of a gentle guidance forward towards what you want. Calling somebody and having them come over to your house can be one of those things that forces you, okay, forces you to do something, but that you're going to benefit from. So yay for doing that. Yay for doing that. We had somebody come out last week to measure for some cabinets that we're going to get installed. I too used that as an opportunity to say, okay, let me look at my house, not from the eyes I'm looking at when it's just me in the house, but let me put on my goggles of what this person might see if they walk in our back door today. That allowed me to focus on what would be in the areas that she would be in. Now, was she going to be in every room of the house? No, but she was going to be definitely in this one, partially of that one. It's possible to be around the corner. And by focusing on that area, only that area prior to her coming, I felt good when she arrived. And I looked forward to her coming to the house because I realized that when I opened the door to her, I would feel good because it would look good. She's never been in our house. She doesn't know if it looks good or bad. I know that it looks better than it did before, so I felt good. Speaking of floors today, Carla Jane is finishing the floor today. Watch out now. Already on my list to mop tomorrow. Thanks for you for saying that. I wrote down vacuum, and I'm going to write that down again. I'm going to vacuum the floor today. The floor is a horizontal surface. The floor can hold a lot of clutter. Anybody have clutter on their floor? We can work on that. This is a neat thing. I will empower you. Please remember that this is not a standard kind of schoolroom with me up the front, like the lady in Little House on the Prairie, and you guys all sitting there and you're going to get in trouble if you move. I want you to be moving. I would love it if you were kind of keeping your ear open to what I'm saying, but using what I'm saying to encourage you to get up and move around during this TikTok live. And not just move around. You could move around and exercise. You could move around and declutter a surface while we're together. Okay? Decluttering a surface, decluttering while I'm here gets you the benefit of when you get stuck. Okay? McDugs, what are you guilty about? There is no guilt. This is not a court of law. This is not a church. All right? I love it. Leslie is tuning in even when she's traveling. Greetings from Florida. Excellent. Yay, warm weather, I hope. My friend is out, so I'm listening in. I'm walking while I'm listening. Right. She's listening for things that she can tuck away and keep like souvenirs in her head and heart to bring home when she goes back home that will help her declutter. Even when she's traveling right now, she might realize or remember that everything that she buys on vacation will need to have a place at home. And so knowing the spaces in your home when you're away, you're going to see a lot of things that are kind of cute. But then when you say, where would I put it at home? And you come up with no good answer. I mean, that's why I don't own some of the things I would love to own, because there's really no good place for it to be in our house. Yeah. And there we go. Always great little nuggets in these lives. And this is really, too, another chunking down thing is you're going to keep the nuggets. You're going to save the nuggets that resonate with you. I cast a lot of nuggets. I offer a lot of nuggets. The ones that resonate with you are the ones that you're going to be more likely to remember and keep. Those are going to be little chunks, little bits of wisdom. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch. It can be literally 4 things, 3 things, 2 things, 1 things. Yeah, there we go. Leslie even says, yes, I bought nothing. I'm bringing home sun and memories and pictures with friends. And maybe some of those friends will have sassy hats on, right? Now, you just reminded me of something I'm going to do, because I can sometimes be tempted when I'm in a certain situation, when I'm vacationing. You become a different person. You kind of forget who you are. And so sometimes, so I'm going to write this down. I'm going to write down Orange Bird, because I am not a Disney person. I am not. But I go to Disney every year because my husband works there 1 week of the year, and it's warm and it's free for me to go. You know, I have to pay some things. So when I'm there, I see tons of stuff that does not resonate with me. Donald Duck, meh. Mickey, no offense, meh. Goofy, Pluto, whomever. But that little cute little orange bird, I think is kind of sassy. The very first time we went there, I saw somebody walking and sipping a little drink out of an orange bird glass, and I was just, or a little plastic thing, I was so smitten that we tracked them down. Now they just sit on, now they sit on a shelf in the kitchen, and I see them every day and bring me joy. But do I need anything else that has it? Now, anybody who's been a collector knows the danger of starting a new collection, you know? So I will look up in advance if there's anything that really tugs at my heartstrings, that pulls me towards it, that says, come here, baby. Some things, it's kind of like dating. You're kind of like, yeah, that's nice. That's cute enough, but not really. And other times you're like, ooh, my goodness. There's like a magnet in that thing. So I'm going to look up that stuff beforehand to even prep. Even before Disney, we're going to Palm Springs. You guys know how much I talk about Palm Springs, California. There are tons of things there that I would love my house to look like. But I already have stuff in my house. So I also try to be very mindful about what I bring home. I will share with you, I might be looking at another one of these guys, because I noticed that for whatever reason, and I have no idea how it happened, but there's like a crack in this one. And my fear is that it's going to break. But I will look and I'll see. You know, the crack doesn't look that bad. So I'm going to see if they have something like this. I might bring back another one. I might not. Prepping for that stuff is keeping me less cluttered. Yeah. I love it. Carla Jane, yeah, it's so wrong, but a rodent in a suit just freaks me. Right. Notice other people are absolutely smitten with a rodent in a suit. Other people get freaked out about it. Oh, goodness. Therapy gal Sue, thank you for shouting out about this. And I'm so sorry this happened. Sue says, focusing on the ongoing hacking drama. Oh, I don't like drama. That drained my credit union accounts last week. Fudge. Welcome to Data Breach World 2026. Getting laptop number one virtually scrubbed by the Geek Squad right now. But she scheduled it. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, Social Karma Marketing MN. I also love the mid-century modern decor shops in Palm Springs. I imbue every room in my house with some of that, but I am not. If I was starting with a clean slate, I would call somebody from H3K and say, "Here's a picture of my house, design it for me." I love being in those environments, but then when I compare to, well, this looks good in this environment. If I own this, where would I put it at home? Bring some decisions that if I cannot convincingly answer that question in the shop, I lovingly put it down and know that if I was bringing it home, I might just add it to my clutter. Yeah. So I want to just get back because I think this could help everybody. So, Sue, I am so sorry that that happened. How did you find out? You don't need to share it, but I would be very curious how you found out about the drain so that you could, we could all, we have to, we could all do what you did when you found out to make sure everything's okay. The first thing I think is that I would check the balances and the recent activity in my accounts. So I myself, Sue, let's make a good thing out of a bad thing. Everybody. Sue's bad thing could help us make sure it doesn't happen to us either. So I'm going to write down on my thing today, check balances and activity in, I'll say, all of my bank accounts. Now, I say that because bank is more important. Cash goes, cash does not come back. Credit cards, on the other hand, you can do something to get a chargeback, that type of thing. So I will start with my I will start with checking my stuff. All right. Yeah. All righty. So, yep. What shop did you say for mid-century modern? Carla Jane. There's so many. There are so many. There's a place called H3K that I think if you saw, you go to their website. They used to have a shop in like downtown Palm Springs. Now you have to go about a half hour south, and I think Palm Canyon Drive, or I'll have to look it up. But you see the inside of that house, and man, if this house did not already have all my stuff in it, that's where I would go to, like, just blink, put it all in my cart, and have somebody set it up. Yeah. No, Sue. Okay, Sue says, Joanne, you missed 20 minutes, but we still got 40 minutes here. We're fine. Okay. Natalie, nice to see you. So Sue sadly got some of her bank accounts drained by hackers. She says, grateful I decluttered paperwork and filed to easily switch auto payments. I got a 7 a.m. text from my credit union alerting to a $3,000 transfer. Locked out of online, and I had to go in there. Okay. So here's the thing we all might benefit from. Do I have alerts set up? And I'm just writing that down. Alerts set up for my bank to notify me if there is unusual activity. So that's how Sue found out about this. The other thing too is find out from your banks how you can other ways to protect your assets. So it could be, who knows, but what can we do to protect our assets? Cover your assets, as it were. So Sue, I am so sorry that helped. That really sucked. That really did. But you know what? What happened to you is going to give us peace of mind. So we are all going to, right, people? Right? We're going to be in solidarity with Sue. We're all going to check our bank accounts today and just see if there's any unusual activity. What we also might want to do is we might want to check and see the last time that we changed our password and update our password to something more different and difficult for somebody to get. Okay? Yeah, there we go. Barbara says, I am grateful that my credit union caught and declined an unusual activity when someone stole the number and made a card. So we all could benefit from looking at our bank accounts to see what kind of alerts we can have them set up. If it's going to be a charge over this amount or a withdrawal of this amount, that they need to like send me a text before I approve it. Because I sometimes do transfer money between things, but I want to be able to approve it before it happens, because it's much easier to deny somebody something than to have it happen and try to get the money back from them. Yeah. So let's all use that unfortunate thing to learn from it and decrease the likelihood of it happening to us. All right. So notice what I did, though. We're talking about this right now. I made sure that I wrote those things down on my list of things to do today. Because if I didn't write it down, I could forget it. I would forget it because I'd be in the zone and being like, okay. And then I would shut off this TikTok live and he'd be like, YouTube live. And he'd be like, oh, what do I have to do? I don't know. If I'm looking around, I might see some clutter. If I look down at oh, that's right. Vacuum, gather up tax donations and put on spreadsheet, transfer money to my bank account. So that'll be a perfect time for me to do that. Do these things. Do something today that will give you peace of mind so that what happened to Sue can be used as something beneficial to lessen the feeling. Okay? There we go. I love it. Yeah, me, Lady Bandit says, I'm going to the bank today. So I added that to my list. Thanks, Sue, for sharing. Yeah. When we hear things happen to other people that we don't know, we're like, oh, that happens to other people. When it happens to, quote, one of us, when it happens to someone you know, that means it could happen to us too. I don't want that to happen to me or any of us. So let's do something so it doesn't. All right. But yay for being less cluttered. Yay for knowing how to log in to your bank at home. Yay for being proactive. Sue is reacting to something she didn't expect to happen. Let's be proactive and use her detrimental thing for our use. Okay. Sound good? Oh, Carla Jane. Actually, you're right. And you know what? Lady Bandit. Here. Carla Jane said, I thought banks were closed today. They very well might be. I forgot it was a holiday. And I'm glad you just said that, because guess what I'm going to do here right now? This is wicked funny. Carla Jane. I am going to look up post office hours on, what is it, President's Day? Yeah. I just said I was going to walk down to the post office. I still need to go for a walk, but when I walked down to the post office, I would have been disappointed. Yeah, Lady Bandit forgot too. Thank you, Patty. Yep, I'll do it tomorrow too. So, and I won't, this is a funny thing. I won't be, I got to see, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out what time PO opens twos. Thank you, Carla Jane. Yeah, if the treasury is closed, blanks usually are too. No. Carla Jane, do not be sorry. I am grateful for you chiming in with that info. I would have gone on a walk down to the post office carrying a package that I would have been peeved that I would have had to carry the package back. Now, instead of walking to the post office or the bank, I'm going to walk somewhere else. Okay? Carla Jane, former bank employee. Yes, you saved me a trip. You helped both of us with your information. Thank you, Carla Jane. That was good stuff. Yeah, today is a holiday, President's Day. For those of us who, live in our own bubble, I kind of forgot about that. Okay. Interesting. Sue says there were 2 bank account transfers that I supposedly approved. Great tips. I now joined Member Save through my credit union for $5 a month to ensure all accounts and devices. This was probably PayPal. Credit card virus is not me, but even if it was, what can I do? So yay. Yeah. And Patty is also glad, Carla. So thank you. You helped us. Patty was going to mention it. I was going to call. My brother works at a bank and he's off, but I was going to call. And you know what I did? I just Googled it. Yeah. Here's the other thing. I just looked and now I will be like, oh, I shouldn't be surprised when no mail arrives at the front door today because they're not delivering the mail either. So, see, we're all helping each other here. We are all helping each other. And I was going to do it today. That was my plan, but I have some flexibility. I'm going to see what it is tomorrow, right? And I'll get it done then. I have plenty of other things I can do, you know? So, what are you going to do today? Today's a holiday for some people. You've got a holiday. To me, it's just a Monday because I work my own hours. What are you going to do today when you can't go to the post office or the bank? What would you like to do today? What would you like to focus on? Focus some of your time on. Notice, focus not all. What would you like to focus some of your time on and energy? Focus on today that could be planting a seed for something awesome to grow even in the future. How does that sound? What would you like to focus on? I'm going to focus on something that I may not be able to get done today, but it is something that I'd like to plant a seed for something that I would look forward to. Once I plant a seed, I can look forward to that plant growing. If I never plant the seed, the flower will never grow. So what seed, what flower would I look forward to having it bloom? There we go. Penny Meyer says my Poland trip memoir. Wonderful, Penny. Yeah, while those memories are fresh in your mind, as the years, as the moments go by, they will fade. Some will drop out. You will forget them. Writing them down while they're fresh in your mind. Wonderful. In a way, my memoir is this, my good book. Anybody wants to know the good stuff that happened in my life? All they need to do is pull out these books and go day by day. Now, there are definitely some bigger things that come up. The time that I met that person, the time that I stayed here, the time we traveled to there, versus I walked to the post office, which I also write down. I wrote down last night when we came back from our belated Valentine's thing that a little, what do you call it, celebration. My husband and I went into the city. I wrote down to myself, I had a cocktail, so let me see what I wrote. Barbara says school is closed. Yay. But I came to declutter my classroom. Notice how it can be helpful to declutter when other people are not there. I got it great for 2026, and things regressed with art showpieces do. Much like our kitchen looked great at the beginning of Saturday. And then my husband made bacon and cut up vegetables and created all sorts of things. And then we kind of tidied up, but then we went out to a party and then whatever. So yeah, surfaces were made to make messes on, but also to then take some time to clear it up. So Barbara, you're doing good stuff. Yeah. And here's the thing, I won't read it verbatim, but I said, remember how fun and silly it was to go into Philly. And then I listed some of the things. We got an easy parking spree, got 2 easy seats at the bar. We sat at the bar because they had happy hour prices. We were leisurely with what we did. It was fun. I ran out and got a pair of earrings between courses. And then literally we were home by like 7:00. So writing down those good things, capturing those little nuggets of memories, that was maybe 3 hours of my life. But man, does it feel good to know that they happened. And when I write that down, I can remember that in my brain. Now, did I take a picture of the oysters and strangely enough, the deviled eggs? Yes, I did. Because that's also another way I remember stuff is I enjoy taking pictures of things that I want to remember. What do you do to help you remember the good stuff? What is your process to remember the good stuff? Do you trust your brain? Oh, I'll remember that. Well, your brain must be stronger than mine because I forget so much more these days. So I want to remember the good stuff. I already organically probably remember the bad stuff. Like even me hearkening back to when we went on our trip to Cancun, I don't want to overshadow that trip by the 2 days that I was 2+ days that I was sick. And when I got sick home, I still had a number of days prior to that happening that were fun. So I try to remember those as well. So maybe today what you could do is spend some time. Okay. Yeah. Caprielle says, I get overwhelmed by options. Yes. Overwhelm means there's too many options. So let's chunk it down. Journaling, scrapbooking, photo album, Instagram. I love it all. Which is the easiest for you? Now, it's easiest for me, honestly, is to just take pictures. Pictures to me tell a story. But I also love being in the habit of being conscious about on the daily writing down the good stuff. Now, my journaling is not journaling. It's literally little stars, little dots. Notice, it's just little dots every day. What's that? Oh, that was one. So isn't that funny? That was a backstage pass. What else? So I don't journal, but I'll just write down Phil haircut, 20 minutes on the treadmill. Oh, this will be fun. You know what? What day is today? Monday, February 16th. That was January of last year. Savannah trip. What day? February 6th. I'm going to see what last year was. Is this 2025 or is this 2024? I got to look that down. Look that up. August of 24. Okay, so it started in 24. February 16th of last year. I was tired and it was cold out, but I slept in. I did a yoga stretch. Oh, funny. We went to a party this day last year. Ben and Dee's party. Lots of nice people. I wrote down their names so I wouldn't forget them. And I did a YouTube live pop-up. I wouldn't have remembered that. I might have looked at my pictures. So I do what's the easiest. I know there's a lot of options out there, but I'm happy with how I do it. So Caprielle, chunking down the overwhelm. There are so many options with so many things nowadays that can easily trigger a feeling of overwhelm in you. Start to recognize how overwhelm shows up in your body and be aware of it when it is at a low volume. Okay? Now, when you notice something happening at a low volume, you can be in better control to turn it down again if it's something that you don't want to happen. I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I'm noticing I'm starting to feel overwhelmed here. I'm going to turn it down and I'm going to chunk it down. Just pick one thing or two things. Okay? You love it all, so you can do it all, but at least start with the things that are the easiest for you because then at least you would have started. Now, I love this. Carla Jane says, my friend called, needed me to pick them up from the car dealership, which was unexpected. But because I was out, I was able to get a crispy Diet Dr. Pepper, and now she can do the laundry. Ooh, a crispy. Something about crispy. Don't we love crispy? Crispy chips. Crispy. I'm not a Dr. Pepper person, but a couple of swigs of a crispy Diet Coke can hit the spot. Pepsi Cola hits the spot. 12 full ounces. That's a lot. Something about a nickel or two. Pepsi Cola is the thing for you. That was before my time. I'm pretty much channeling my mother. So I just go back to, we've got tonight. We've got today. We've got less than 12 hours until it's almost midnight. What would you like to focus some of your time on today? What seed could you plant? What's a tiny little thing you could plant today that may not bloom for a while, but could make you feel good, that every time you think of it blooming, it gave you a good feeling? I'm going to write that down. Plant a seed that doesn't bloom till later. Now notice, even big oaks start with little chunks, little seeds. All those acorns that are scattered on the surface aren't going to bloom. We have more ideas than we will ever watch bloom. Much like the oak tree, your brain has way too many more ideas that there's no way in possibility that you could get them all done. That's why it over gives you ideas in the hopes that some of them get done. I love this. Leslie says, start now on those taxes and you'll be happy you did. Yeah. Now, I love that because I literally have, you guys see this? Beth, taxes 2025 on my desk, not on the desk out the door. I'm going to work on my taxes today. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to chunk it down. I'm going to chunk it down. I literally am, all I'm going to do, all I plan on doing today is focusing on our tax deductible donations. That's all I'm going to do. Okay. Now, I love it. Just remembered I have tax stuff to do. Wanted to turn it in to the accountant soon. Patty, then I'm going to be working on mine. What's a chunk of your taxes? Yeah, I was forgetting them on purpose. Yeah, because they're not. Here's the thing. I got to share with you guys. Please know this. I used to dread my taxes, much like the next person. I have sat on the floor of this very room and cried in frustration and felt like I was going to throw up doing my organizing of my tax paperwork in years past. I have found a different way to do them, which is slowing down and chunking down and taking the drama, turning the volume down on the drama about doing your taxes. And that's why I could do a lot of things today, but I will feel good knowing that I got some stuff done on my taxes. Okay. Carla Jane is also encouraging us. She is a great person today, encouraging us to do so. She says she's paying her second late fee for late taxes. So notice that you can control this. You can not pay a late fee by getting your taxes done on time. So Patty, what specific things are you going to do today? What little seeds are you going to plant today that will bloom in getting your taxes done sooner rather than later? Notice how specific I was. I know that in this envelope are going to be some of those things that came in the mail that said, thank you for your donation. This amount is tax deductible. I also know, because this is one of the things we did last year that worked, so we're doing it again this year, that I have a spreadsheet that I created last year of the places that we donated to. I have then created a copy of that, called it 2026, stripped out the numbers, and I printed that out so that I could notice who we donated to this year and write it down, and maybe who we decided not to donate to this year. I don't know. The other thing is, too, some of those things come in the mail, which won't come today because it's a holiday, and others of them come in my email. So I will probably start with the chunk of stuff that is strictly already in paper and fill those in and feel good about it. I also imagine myself with that spreadsheet and all of those papers that I already put on it to clip those papers that I had done with putting the list on the front. And then what I might do is I might go and look in the folder in my email box that says 2026 paperwork, and I will look for things that were those digital versions of, hey, thank you for your donation. This much is tax deductible. All righty. Now, Patty says year-end credit card download expenses, donations, Excel. Okay. So yeah, so the same type of thing. What are just the expenses that we will say this is a tax deductible expense, reduce our taxable income? Here's the paperwork. Same thing with the donations, and yes, Excel. Now that could feel overwhelming. So what you might want to do is just go month by month. I also know that I have somebody who is helping us with our taxes this weekend, who there are a few spreadsheets I need to make sure that I'm 90% sure that I've already filled them in, because I did it a chunk at a time and there's not a lot, frankly, that goes on them. But I want to double check that she has that information. So I might do that as well, or that may be a chunk for another day. Patty, is there anything that you could use help with? Anything we could do here that will encourage you to do some of those things today, even though part of your brain kind of wants to forget it. So part of you is going to be trying to let you not do it. What's the easiest part of one of those things? What's the first step that feels doable in one of those? And notice, as I'm talking to you, Patty, I don't mean to single you out and you don't need to answer me, but when I talk specifically to you, I could easily be talking to the people that are not only watching this live, but also may catch this as a recording. Say, oh, that's right. What could I do? Because don't forget, taxes are basically math of here's how much money we brought in. This is the money that went out. This is the amount we have left that they can legitimately tax. And then have we paid any taxes in advance, or do we need to pay it all at the end? Do not allow your brain to make it any more fussy and complicated than that. All right. It's going to try to. It gets into overwhelm and fear and lack and anger and frustration, and all sorts of things may come up. Now, am I in love with doing my taxes? No. But I've stripped out the drama. So it's just kind of neutral. And you know what I love is just having them done. Thinking of my taxes instead of being like, oh, I have to get them done. It's yay, they are done. And I want to get that done. My goal is to get my tax paperwork to everybody before we leave next week for Palm Springs. Yeah. All right. Now, Carla Jane loves to do things. We've got 14 minutes. Carla Jane says, if y'all are game, let's try to do one thing today we don't like. Then we won't have to do it again, maybe, but we will all be together. I'm game. I already outed myself. It's one of my least favorite things is to do the taxes. So I'm going to do my taxes. So I have declared here. I declare I am going to focus at least 1 hour today on my tax paperwork organizing, specifically, because specifics, my donation spreadsheet. Notice I put 3 E's in spreadsheet. I could have written that down for myself, but I wrote it down in the comments because now I've created kind of a very low-level social contract with you. I love it. Patty just wrote, I will do the credit card expenses for the tax report today. Anybody else want some more encouragement to be like, okay, this is a day that we're going to do something for a bit of time so that we feel better at the end of the day. The other thing too is I will do this since we do have TikTok lives and YouTube lives. Now, as a reminder, there will not be any tomorrow, Tuesday the 17th, or Wednesday, February 18th, because I'm traveling. Thursday the 19th, we have an 8 a.m. TikTok live. I am putting a note here. Follow up with people about their thing that they did on Monday. Their Monday to do. So again, notice this. Yeah. All right, Kristen, I love this. I love this. All right, let me do this. Taxes seem to be a thing. Carla Jane says, and notice she wrote it down, but I'm sharing it. I'm amplifying this to make it be like everybody now knows. Carla Jane says, I'm going to start getting my tax items together today. Go through bank statements for medical, 1 hour. Me too. Carla Jane, we'll set our alarms, okay? Yes. Kristen says, I need a non-judgmental bookkeeper. Interesting, because I assume you've had a judgmental bookkeeper and you don't need one of those. I need help with balancing old credit card statements in QuickBooks. Can we solicit for help here? We'll pay or trade marketing services. If anybody has anybody they recommend, I have somebody that works for me, but what I would highly recommend, Kristen, is this I think might be a beneficial thing in a way to chunk it down as well, is some of the things, especially if it's tax involved, can be specific from state to state. So getting somebody who is familiar with your, and this is more of a tax thing than a straight bookkeeping thing. Straight bookkeeping might be people from anywhere. It might be helpful for you to find somebody in your state. That's all I'm saying. Okay. If anybody has somebody there they want a street, yeah. Oh, well, yes, actually, it's funny. Yes, Barbara, and you're right. As soon as I said there are 3 E's, technically I put 4 E's in spreadsheet because I put spreadsheet. It's all good. You know what I meant. All right. Lady Bandit has also said, so I'm going to write this down, and I'm going to write this down. I'm going to write down me, Carla, Patty, Lady Bandit, would anybody else love some accountability to get something done technically today, but I won't ask for your progress until Thursday? Is there something that you know you would feel better that you're not really excited about? Okay. But you know you'd feel better if you got it started? Could you get some of that started basically between now and 8 a.m. on Thursday? Think about that for a moment. Notice what comes up. Write it down on paper for yourself. And if you want me to lovingly follow up with you and just check in, I can do that if you share it in the comments. I'm happy to do so. And notice the first person I put on that list was me. So I will come and I will report what I did. Okay. All right. Kristen is in Minnesota. What I would also do, Kristen, seriously, because this is how we get a lot of good people. Okay. Kristen says yes to accountability. Okay. So Kristen, let's be specific. What is something that you would like to focus some of your time on between now and Thursday, so that when I ask you about it on Thursday on a TikTok live or the YouTube live, you will kind of be able to update yourself and share your stuff. Okay. So Kristen, start to think about that. Kristen, Penny wants to start a workout routine. Start small, especially after your torqued knee. Yeah, Penny. Let's use this time together for good. Yeah. Lady Bandit's going to spend 30 minutes on going through my medical records of my mother. Notice, creating a container, as they like to call it. Okay. All right. A container of a certain amount of time. I am going to spend X amount of time doing insert task here. Okay. Judy Dukes, accountability on decluttering the utility room. Judy. So Judy, between now and Thursday morning, what is the size of your container? How much time do you want to be able to report that you focused on decluttering your utility room? And the number can be anything. I would highly recommend whatever the number you think of, cut it in half, because you could always go over it. Okay. All right. Kristen has already articulated. And remember, everybody who's written down your stuff in the comments, we have 7 minutes left of this YouTube. Write down those things on paper for yourself as well. Okay. So Kristen just wrote down, starting to gather all my tax data, receipts, statements in a folder, overall organization of the paper, which usually jumpstarts the tax process. Okay. Yeah. And I love it. I love Carla. This never occurred to me. Okay. So Judy Dukes, write this down for yourself. An hour on Tuesday and an hour on Wednesday. Okay. I highly recommend you put that on your calendar as well. On your calendar, you have ideally hours of the day, and decide when you want to do that. The more you can write it down and get more specific and real, the more likely you're going to show up. Carla Jane, it never occurred to me until right now, when you've shared that you were an only child, that one of the things you like is to do things with people. So notice that about yourself. I, on the other hand, was not an only child. I'm the oldest of 3, and I'm a 4th generation oldest daughter. So if anything, I relish my time to myself, because I had very little of it growing up, because I was often asked to take care of my sisters. So notice how we grow up can help us be wired to want to connect with people or disconnect, or it varies depending upon the day. All right. So notice that about yourself. Notice what works and do more of it. Notice what doesn't work and do less of it. Okay. That's what I say. I am going to, yes, as kind of as Kristen said, I will go through here and I'm going to specifically just pull out just the things with the donations on it. But I will most likely also be chunking down the paper, because the paper that I put in this envelope throughout the year, is a bit disorganized. So I will chunk it down. Credit card statements there, printouts here, whatever this is there. Okay. There we go. No, I love it. I love the acronyms. My SIL watches Y and R. So I'm assuming that's your sister-in-law, your sister-in-law watches Young and the Restless and then texts me. So I'll work on my taxes for focus during that time. Uh-huh. And Lady Bandit, is an only child too. Yay, the only children. Yeah, the Young and the Restless only children. Okay. All righty. Yay for accountability. Kristen is also an only child. There we go. So, all the only children, where do they all come from? How fun is that? You're not alone as an only child. Yay. That's cool. That is cool. I'm just looking down here. Ooh, it looks like the TikTok live that we did earlier today is ready to download. I will upload that to the YouTube channel here. All right. So we have me, Carla, Patty, Lady Bandit, Krista, Penny, and Judy. Did I miss anybody else who would like some accountability to do something that's going to make you feel better for having started it, even if you don't finish? I do not expect you to finish. I do not expect you to finish. If you do, that's great, but that is not the expectation. The expectation is just to get started on something that you may be dragging your feet on. But if you've got people that are also saying, I commit to stop dragging my feet, it might encourage you to kind of get your feet from dragging and pick up and move forward. So me, and I'm going to write down taxes. And it's probably for a lot of people too. So I look forward. And here's the deal. If you don't want to show up on Thursday to the TikTok live or the YouTube live for me to ask you about that, that's your choice. I'm not going to hunt you down. Notice the things that you're doing. There you go. All right. I love it. Barbara, because there's an R in Barbara. There are 2 R's in Barbara. But I didn't know that growing up in the Boston area. Let me just say it. Is going to focus on her bedroom and report progress. Okay. So, Kristen, notice this. I want to puke. Now, if that is not a visceral bodily reaction when I think about starting, but once I start, I always wonder why it was so painful. It becomes sort of fun to organize everything. All right. Kathy is going to start donating clothes and other clothes, clutter, and post some to sell. Okay. So I'm writing down Kathy with a K. I love it. Now, here's an interesting thing. Let me help you with this one. I know we only have 2 minutes, but this could be helpful to all of us. Notice that even before you start a project, when I think about starting, says Kristen, I'm using the word when I have a thought I'm going to start, my body reacts with, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I'm going to puke. What is it about the starting? Ask yourself this. There's a question. What is it that about the starting that causes my stomach to contract and me want to throw up? What am I imagining that's going to happen ahead of time that makes me want to throw up? Okay. Now, I ask that question without expectation, without judgment, with sheer curiosity. You can choose to dig for that answer, or you can choose to say, you know what, I don't know, but I'm going to replace that ugh feeling with, wait a minute. Every time once I start, I always wonder why it was so painful. If you find out why it was painful, that might help you stop that puke feeling, to remember that's something that happened long ago, and you can start to change those memories and fade that out and replace it with something more helpful. This does work, you know. But just getting curious about it can help you realize, oh, yeah, it's because I have a negative association with decluttering, because every time I wanted to go have fun, my parents said, no, I couldn't. I had to stay in my room and clean it. And yet they never told me how to clean my room because their room was a mess too. So I associate decluttering with stress and yelling and lack of fun. No wonder I don't want to do it. I resent it when people tell me what to do. So even if it's me telling me to do something, like I'm the parent, but I'm also the child, clean your room, I may want to be a rebellious teen and flip the bird to them and say, no, I'm going to ignore it. And yet I end up feeling bad when my room is a mess. All right. Carla Jane is adding to her list. All righty. I want to box up all donations that I've put aside so I can get it out of here this week. All right. So as I mentioned, oops, it's 12 o'clock right now. As I mentioned, write this stuff down for yourself. I will leave this up here. I believe you can scroll back and forth with the comments. You can remember what you wrote down by scrolling in the comments or listening to this when it's up on the record. Okay. So make sure you wrote down this to yourself. And on Thursday on the TikTok live or the YouTube live, I'll do it at both because I'm not sure which one you will show up at. Use that as a destination. Today is Monday and it's a holiday. I've got from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday to get those things done. And I'm going to be so excited to share with Beth my accomplishments and that good feeling to share the good news about the good stuff I did will be a nice little tiger in your tank to get that stuff done. Okay. Now I'm going to sign off now. Speaking of getting stuff done. The funny thing is I thought I was going to walk down to the post office. Lady Bandit thought she was going to the bank. Oh, well, we'll do that tomorrow or the next day. We've got some stuff done. All right. Have a fantastic day, everyone, as Carla and Haircut 100 would say. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Okay. Have some fun and get it done. Okay. I'll talk to you later.